Thank you very much, David, for this opportunity to share my approach. So I want to introduce a little bit about myself. I graduated from the Student Academy of Fine Arts in China. And then after I graduated from there, and then I taught there for 4 years before the school sent me over to School of Art and Design at University of Illinois at Champaign as visiting scholar. And then I had my MFA from Wausau University. And then after I graduated, I'm still teaching there for 32 years already.
Wow.
So probably I'm going to teach for another 3 years to retire. And before I start to do the demo, I want to introduce what I use, because as I'm talking to someone, it's very beneficial. You learn, you watch different artists to do the demo, and then you learn a whole lot different way to interpret. And even though you see some artists you like and you want to learn exactly, but you never can do exactly as this artist. As when I was students, I always watch my professor to do a demo, but I never can do this exactly same as they does, because everybody thinking different way. But you learn principle. That's most important, to watch different artists interpret different thing, what you can do with those materials. Okay. And my approach, if you see my original painting, I like the thick, I like tactile physicality. It's different beauty than bland and smooth surface. And really depending on what you like. And the color, what I use, let everybody do. This color, it's Italian word, it's called Wausau. If you, Wausau is color from a fresco. This is Wausau, the color. From Italian, the fresco. Right. If you search online, just search Wausau color, and then pop up. The Wausau color used for fresco, like 16 Temple, Michelangelo on the ceiling, he used Wausau to draw. And then mural artists, fresco artists always use Wausau to begin with, and then the color later. So that's Wausau. And then later, in the 15th century, the artist used Wausau to fix the drawing like one act. And then he always draw nice with charcoal or charcoal pencil, and then or chalk, draw on canvas, and then fix the drawing with Wausau. So Wausau, the color actually is yellow mixed with little black. And then if sometimes artists prefer to be a little lighter, and add a little black, a little white. So between black, yellow ochre and black, a little white. So that's Wausau. Okay. Wausau, what I really like, because it's a little cool to me, especially for portrait. If you do apply this color, when you do the skin color, it's pop right away. We color a little more complementary, but more natural rather than too harsh. So that's what I like for a lot of cases. So, and the white, the artists before 18th century, artists use flake white. It's light white. Okay, it's nice, like Rembrandt, the typical Titian Rembrandt, very heavy application. That's flake white. And then after 19th century, titanium white. You see every art store carry titanium white. So that's the third white, and then zinc white started early, same as flake white. Okay, so the difference is flake white, the light white, has more butter quality, has more transparent. It was not as opaque as titanium white. Titanium white very thin, liquidy, but very opaque, cold. Flake white or yellowish, nice warm yellowish white, if you will, and that has nice butter quality. So if you soak out flake white on the paper, never becomes skinned. But if a titanium white, if you put too long for after 5 days, you will see the skin. But flake white never skinned. So that's, you see the huge differences. And then flake white has nice butter quality, even though it's very thick, but was not too opaque. You always see little translucent come through. Okay, and then you see this more optical mixing on the surface.
What brand is that?
Flake white?
Flake white is mine super thick at Windsor.
The Winsor Newton has flake white. It's called flake white #1, very heavy. But right now it's hard to find in the United States because Winsor Newton is from England, and but also very expensive too, like gold price. So because the toxic, the flake white is toxic. The lab, if you use the flake white, don't paint, drink, eat at the same time. It's not by vapor, but by eat through. So that's cause toxic, especially for the children. You know. So now flake white is PW1. If you read label, if you see flake white Q, and then you read label as PW6 and 4. So PW4 is titanium white. PW6 is zinc white. It's a combination. So I use Rembrandt. It's called mix white. So you can feel it's a little chunkier, heavier. You can pass through. That's closer flake white. Because right now all manufacturers put extra oil in the white, in any color. When you squeeze, sometimes you see the oil comes out right away, lots of oils, because they're afraid to dry out before sold. So that's why to be able to have interesting butter quality for the white, and then so that's what I do, soak out extra oil away on the newsprint paper. So that's way to make the white paints more closer to the old masters, and to have more butter quality, to have a thick application. So anyway, flake white is PW1, and then zinc white PW4, and then zinc white PW6, and then titanium white PW4. So, and then mine is the Rembrandt mixed white as PW6 and PW4. If you see titanium white as, of course, PW4. But if you see other white, like flake white hue, that's PW6 and PW4, same as this mixed white. They still have a little chunkier. Probably they put less oil to try to mimic flake white. Okay, because as long as you have white, a different white, changing the whole way you paint, chunky white to make more buttery, nice brush mark. If a liquidy white to make a nice flow, the application. Probably Alex Kanowski, everybody familiar his work, right? He used titanium white, very liquidy wash, but flake white does not work for him, because flake white has more scabbling quality too. So that's what works well for me. Okay, and so when you have flake white or chunky white, and then mixing the white to any colors, so that's the beginning. That's one thing. So this, in case, if you soak up like this one, little too chunkier, because my driving is whole day is heat on the car and it become a little too chunky. If something happen like that, or someone has a flake white, really flake white, already already heavier. And then you don't need to soak out, you just directly squeeze out. If it become too chunky, and then you can mix in those white you soak up with a fresh paints, so you can make it even up. So that's the thing. You dissolve those too chunky, the flavor white. Okay. So
What was the middle part? What was the middle part?
middle.
I'm joking.
Sorry about that. So, okay. So my palette, okay, so I always, some artists prefer to mixing with a certain skin color, but I don't do that because I like to mix in colors more on the canvas. So I just put white to any amber colors in the color palette. And then, so I know the direction. For example, if I see oranges, less oranges, little neutral oranges, or pinkish, or greenish brown, green. Yeah, that's giving me the sense of direction. And then I pick up those color and then mixing on the canvas to find the right skin color. So that's what I like to do. It's more mixing on the canvas rather than nice, perfect skin color. You see the different artist has different preference. Okay, so that's what I like to do. And then this side is opaque color. This is transparent color. That's what I always separate my palette from each other between opaque and transparent. So the medium, I use Neo Miguel. Okay, so Neo Miguel. This try to mimic the medium, very famous medium. It's called Mirror Shade. If you search online, Mirror Shade. Okay, the Mirror Shade, the name comes from this guy, the last name Mirror Shade. He's Jacob Mirror Shade. He's laboratory of Lou, and he published a book in 1950s or 48, I forgot, somewhere around there, talking about the secret of old master technique. And he talking about old master always used like Miguel. The medium is the combination between black oil and double mastic varnish. When you're mixing those two medium together and then create more little like a jelly or honey-like medium like this. Ideally, to paint the timing's good, not dry too fast, not dry too slow, and holding glazing well and holding brush marks well. So that's called Mirror Shade medium. And then the Gatling manufacturer tried to mimic the Mirror Shade medium to make this Neo Miguel. So this medium closer to the Miguel, but not exactly, but closer enough. Okay, so reason why I like this because it becomes sticky quicker. It whole brush shows better, especially if you like marks making. Okay, it becomes stickier better. So you can search online about Mirror Shade. It's a lot of people talking about Mirror Shade medium. So because of this guy. Okay. So when I start paint, you see this surface seems dry. So it's very dry. Does not seem pleasant. So I always put medium on surface before I start, so to create nice fluidity, but also has become a little stickier in surface quickly. So that's what I'm doing.
So does the medium dry before you get the whole portrait done?
The medium,
on the canvas?
It will take probably 5-6 hours dry, which is not 100% dry, but it's dry. So that's really nice surface to working with. And but if you're working on this, some prefer working on this. I don't like this surface because it seems too dry to make brush mark. So I always do Yeah, you can see more time, right?
It's like, if anybody took the David Shavlino workshop, remember he conditioned with oil. He took his linseed oil and activated the surface
Right.
so that his marks move.
Yeah, what's the name of his oil? It's called oil. What he mentioned? The special name. I think it's called oil.
Yes.
So that's really make brush mark better than this kind of surface. It's full of nice fluidity, spontaneity, but also especially when you're working one layer today and then the next day come back and then you oil up again. So it has nice connection fluidity again. So that's the old master always does that. So. So that's called oil up. Little flatty, the create more brush mark, little slack. So you can after this, if you feel a little too much, and then you can just take it out to take excessive away. So you see that if you feel this surface with your finger, you will see this surface very different. So that's called oil up. Okay. Especially if you working on wet technique, and then you're not finished in one session, but you still want to keep wet. So next day, second layer before you do the second layer, you oil out, and then you make a connection. The new marks still look like you finished in one section. It's nice when you new mark and then blending into the area you're not going to work. So that's the thing. But also, if you're working with layers, not wet, that's really nice surface to working with.
So you just got.
Yeah, if oil wet, you don't need it. If a surface wet, you don't need this.
So if you just worked on the face and the rest of it on the outside dry, the background, for instance, you just put it on the background,
Right.
you can do that?
Yeah, if you, for example, you finish everything for first layer, and then second day, you don't want to work on the face, you just want working on the back face. You don't need oil everything. So.
I've been using it and I've been just adding it to my paint.
That's a different way. You're making the paint with medium. Yeah, I'm going to do that too.
Okay.
But that's changing the characters of the paints because it becomes more stickier, holding brush mark well. But this is really make a nice connection between whatever the surface or layers. Really nice too. Right.
How do you approach it if you have done a painting and then you go away from it for a week and you come back? Do you reapply to the painted surface
Yeah.
that you've already done?
Yeah. If you go a while, it's become a little too dry. You can do the same approach too. That's all out. Or you always hear the people talking about retouching varnish. Okay, retouching varnish acting same thing. If you leave the paint for too long or a year later you want to work on, you just put retouching varnish. So that's create the binding tooth, between the dry surface to the new layers. Or you can just oil up with this.
Well, a year later, could I use the new Miguel?
Yeah, Miguel. Yeah, Miguel.
Miguel.
Yeah, so yeah, you can use that. It's called oil up. And then some artists use linseed oil. You see this old master always use linseed oil put on. But I think all this called this
But
technique.
putting this over paint that you've laid down a year ago does not detract from what you've done previously. In other words, it doesn't upset the apple cart that you painted a year ago.
No, because that's just permanent, stable. You won't pick up. Nothing you can pick up if the surface dry, but alcohol. As long as I put alcohol, you can just make paint all the way through.
Right?
Yeah.
Will it yellow over time?
This one, so that's just why if you use linseed oil, the yellow over time. But this one is supposed to be no yellow, but still I see little yellow, tiny yellow. So, so between linseed oil and walnut oil, some artists prefer to use walnut oil, but walnut oil artists use first, and then linseed oil. And walnut oil right now the people can eat it, so become cooking oil. Has become much more expensive now to find walnut oil. But walnut oil less yellow, linseed oil very yellow. But if you use linseed oil, you see by the time, especially put in the dark area, it becomes so yellow, like art museum, the paintings always in the dark room. If you put under the sun, it bleach out at the light again, and then go back to the dark areas, become yellow again. So linseed oil really causes yellow. So that's why when they try to make this Neo Miguel, supposed to be not yellow, but still little yellow, but not as linseed oil yellowish.
What about walnut oil?
Walnut oil a little yellower than this one. Yeah, because this is synthetic resin with chemicals. That's the main thing. You either leave it a little while, or take the paper, take excess away. It's nice surface now. Any more questions?
So I'm looking at our surfaces and they're not as green as yours. So what black did you use? Would that be-
I use, because of the, I'm acrylic, I use acrylic.
Right, I used acrylic.
Okay. What kind of yellow you use?
Yellow ochre.
Depends, yellow ochre. For example, you see my yellow ochre, it's much more yellow from Winsor Newton. And some yellow ochre look like raw sienna from different brand.
Okay.
If you use yellow ochre more like a little dull yellow ochre, and then make more money yellow.
Okay.
But those colors fine. Actually, it's more neutralized than mine. So
Okay.
that's going to be work well for. But this, if you're looking for really looking for this kind of greenish, and then so find the yellow ochre.
Okay.
It's more yellow, part yellowish rather than like raw sienna.
Now did you use like ivory black or Mars black?
Ivory black.
Ivory black.
Ivory black. Yeah. Marsh black, more cooler black, probably make more yellower. Ivory black is a warmer black.
I think I used Mars. So
Okay.
maybe that's
Yeah, but your yellow ochre maybe it's not yellow, very yellowish yellow ochre.